online, on the TuneIn app, and on your smart speaker. Play Shock Radio.
This is Shock
News.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Shock News podcast. This is episode 2. Joining me today is Noah Buckingham-Reed and Elliot Hartley, and I'm Oliver Sykes. Thank you both for coming along today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, glad to be
good.
So our first story we're going to be looking at today is the Salford, it's a sustainability conference. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah. So this is the Healthy City Design Conference of 2025, and what it's focusing on is how building a city can impact your health, because a lot of the times we think about health as eating well and doing a lot of exercise, but actually the environment around you can affect your health a lot as well, is what they're sort of trying to point out at this conference. And the idea is that by building cities that actually have that in mind, you can improve the population's health and actually take pressure off of public services. So this is its 9th year running. It's been on in Liverpool last year, but now it's on in Salford. And earlier today I was down at the conference speaking to a few people. So here's that clip.
Staying healthy, most of us probably think of eating well and exercising regularly, but few will stop to consider the impact of the urban environment and what that has on your health. Attendees at the Healthy City Design Conference taking place behind me here today at the Lowry in the heart of Salford believe that good urban design is not just something nice to have, but can actually take pressure off of public services like the NHS.
This year we aim to go even better with a focus on Salford and Greater Manchester. We've got 300 people from 20 countries participating in this Congress.
So healthy urban planning is taking a whole picture towards health. People think, we need a healthier city, so let's just have more GP appointments and more hospital beds. But that's just fixing people who are already ill. Healthy city planning is about creating a health-inducing environment. So it's really taking a whole picture approach to health rather than a narrow, let's beef up healthcare.
The lack of good quality, truly affordable, safe, secure and accessible housing has serious detrimental impacts. Too many of our residents live in poverty, experience shorter life expectancy and spend longer periods in ill health. Let's design cities where housing is healthcare, where green space is prevention and where regeneration is equity.
I think for me the biggest takeaway in all of this is let's not reduce regeneration and development to the economic, but let's actually see regeneration and development for what it is. It's people-centric.
Well, this is a fantastic event, prioritising some of the most important things we need to talk about. How do cities become healthier places? For a century we've built and built and built, excluded a lot of nature. If we could change that around, that wouldn't be a bad thing.
So I guess for communities, they're a way for these cities to become more happy and healthy and built for people rather than built for cars or for buildings. It's kind of about recentering cities, I think, so they're more relevant for the people that live in them.
We've seen rises from, and especially on this issue, so we've seen Reform comment on it too, and obviously they're leading in the polls at the moment. I mean, you have to ask, how is this pressure going to sort of impact Labour heading into a really important month, next month?
Yeah, I think an interesting thing I want to raise here is about the Green Party. They've just hit 100,000 members, 30,000 increase since Zach Polanski, who is Salford-born Zach Polanski, so it's interesting to mention that. But yeah.
I spoke briefly to Manchester Greens as well, and they said that their office is massively over sort of pushed right now because they've had a lot of people signing up, volunteers who want to get involved in the Green Party for campaigning. And I think they want to put their foot down on Labour too. Yeah. There's a lot of the Labour left which are now shifting to Green.
In terms of,
and they need to pick up on this, and this is definitely an issue. Yeah,
because at the moment I am hearing in the media actually quite a bit about the Greens, Reform, Labour, the Conservatives, but Lib Dems at the moment, it's quite quiet there. Do you think they're going to be quiet before the going?
We might have said that about these May elections. We might have said that before the Greens, about the Greens. I mean, you'd probably count on one hand the amount of times you mentioned the Greens in last year's Shock News episodes, and even in the recent couple of weeks. But now they're getting this real push, and we saw last year, I think we talked a lot about the Lib Dems, especially in their election campaign last year, and they really pushed hard. Yeah. Is that starting to fall away, that sort of slightly left of Labour.
Yeah.
So they were looking in a slightly more centrist left of Labour. They're now sort of being pushed out of the mainstream from a push from an even further left in the Green Party. I mean, is that going to be something? I think it's definitely a concern that Lib Dems will have.
It's interesting because they're all argy-bargy for positions now, aren't they, in terms of getting attention, and that's what I was sort of saying is Greens have been getting a bit more attention, and that's them calling out the BBC in terms of Zach Polanski not getting on Laura Kunsberg. Obviously she interviewed around conferences and all the major party leaders, but it's like it's interesting about coverage and where they are, because they're all jibing to get to the front. And it's a really interesting time in British politics at the moment, especially as we head into... We've got May elections, haven't we?
We do have May elections. Yeah. I think that's going to be highly important for the Greens. But I also, just dragging it back to this point, for the Conservative Party, it was a big point, and I think Kemi Bay maybe didn't do enough to really push those May elections. But her plea to the conference, I think, was for the current state of the Conservative Party is a regenerative one. It needs to be rebuilt. It's rubbled land. It's not going to be immediately back up competing in the polls, but what they can do is sort of clear out the deadwood of the party. And some might argue they're not doing that, but what her sort of plan is at the base of the Conservative Party is to clear out that deadwood and bring them back up to a point where they can compete again, a new Conservative Party. And the May elections, like you said, I think will be really important to see if people believe in that Kemi Badenoch project. I'd say probably the base of the Conservative membership do, the people at the conference do the public, and we can look at some of the smaller parties and how the Lib Dems might take some of those seats, how the Greens might take some of those councils, and that's a big shift. If the Conservatives lose councils, we have a few more Green-led councils, a few more Lib Dem councils, a few more Reform-led councils. I think it's going to be a real litmus test from then until up to the big general elections of how these parties do. And we're still in the early stages, but I think it'll definitely be an indicator.
Well, an interesting time in Westminster at the moment and around the UK for politics. I'm now going to move on to a different topic, and that's food. Elliot, are you a fan of gravy?
Yeah, I like gravy, yeah.
What do you have gravies with? What are gravies? What do you have gravy with?
Lamb,
all right.
beef, Yorkshire puddings.
You have on a full roast dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a question though. Do you pour the gravy all over, or do you just pour it on a certain part? Because I think I'm a bit of a certain part person.
Yeah.
I don't want to drown it in the plate though.
Yeah.
Because you put it on the potatoes and you put it in a bit in the Yorkshire puddings. Anywhere else? I don't know.
Right.
Well.
So what is the big story though?
Well, Alfie Garner, who is helping with the tech producing today, saw this great story and I thought, this is brilliant, we've got to include it on the show today. It's claimed Britons are spending nearly 2 months of our lives eating food with gravy. I suppose it is a sauce, isn't it? The sauce is now the second most popular condiment in the UK, and that's after ketchup. Bisto has found Gen Z are being more adventurous with it, adding things like wasabi and peanut butter to gravy. What do we think of this then?
That's insane.
I think that's
adding peanut butter to gravy.
That's ridiculous. Can you imagine whipping out the gravy for your breakfast? Do you do this? Do you do this?
No.
Do you put wasabi? Yeah,
I would.
I'm sort of interested now. If somebody's got a good recipe, I would love them to send it in because I would love to try it.
Yeah. What do you have on your gravy?
What do you have? Because I'd love.
Hello@shockradio.co.uk. We'd love to hear it.
I'd love to
and also on WhatsApp as well. Let me. I could try and think of the WhatsApp off the top of my head. 07729720708. I believe. I could be wrong. So edge with the side of caution on that.
Give it an editing job.
But yeah, gravy. I have it a lot. I love it with mash. Gravy with mash, with chips, with roasties.
Okay, so this is how many meals in your week do you have with gravy? Because it's quite a lot. 2 months of your
pie.
life.
You've got to have pie with pie and gravy.
So I think maybe it's multiple meals a week. So 2 months over the course of a lifetime. I don't think that's particularly outrageous.
But I feel like you spend so much of your life just doing things for long periods of time because I don't know.
Yeah, for me it's eating food with gravy.
There you go. Do you know what? I don't know what I'm getting at here, but yeah.
Okay, I think maybe if you have a certain amount of meals per week, it definitely adds up. I mean, what is the statistics on how much of your life you spend sleeping?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's at least, I mean, you're like half there, no?
Yeah.
So that's...
But like
so
our
2 months,
generation...
realistically, is actually not...
Well, like just doing something for like, I don't know, like a minute a day or something. You're going to spend...
Yeah.
Also, meals are like quite a long time, aren't they?
So how much are you day? Yeah,
Exactly.
The crazy thing is like how much... like if we look at our generation, how much time we're going to be spending on social media over our lifetime, is it going to get more? Are we going to move on to different things?
That's another thing.
Like think about other generations have spent time reading like physical books, newspapers, listening to cassettes, watching DVDs. Like it's so interesting. But I mean, in terms of like food, obviously Bisto, there are other gravy granule products available. But
Which
gravy,
one do you get?
Did they do the
get
poll?
The real one?
Did Bisto find out the information?
Bisto's found that Gen Z are being more adventurous with it.
I think
So whether
so
is this like...
I think there's a little promotional tactic to give them some free promo.
It's not exactly it's not a YouGov one, is it? It's like
You got polling on gravy.
To be fair,
Office
gravy
for
granules.
National
Do you think gravy has a higher polling than Kemi Bateman?
Are you asking that for real?
I'm asking that in terms of the YouGov impartiality. Would you say if YouGov polled gravy in the Prime Minister approval, like who would you want to be next?
With the Bisto party conference be
Bisto
packed out.
It might have more attendance than the Conservative Party conference in Manchester.
But gravy granules are an interesting thing, aren't they? Like you think these little pellets and
I know,
they're great because you put loads in, you make it really thick.
Yeah,
I like a thick gravy.
Yes.
But like I do like a traditional gravy. You know, you got your stock and your meat and you let it all just stew there. But it's often quite runny with that kind of gravy. But it is like really authentic.
It's gravy because it's like you get beef. I'm really like diving into this now.
It's different.
This is the quality of content you get on Shock News.
Is beef?
We love
what's my point is does the Green Party support
gravy?
That's an interesting one. Well, we might bring you that next week.
We're going to find out.
But
Zach Polanski exclusive.
Is there anything else you guys have been on your sort of radar this week in the news world?
Well, we know that Jonathan Powell, the security advisor, has been in Egypt with the Sharm el-Sheikh deal, but Jonathan Powell's also been in heat with the China spy case as well. So I think if we want to highlight anyone in the government this week, Jonathan Powell's the one to look out for in the papers. I'm not sure if he likes gravy. He might, and I'm not sure how he would respond to us asking about gravy, but I think he would give some great insight. So he might be caught up in this case though. And Jonathan Powell, as much as he's done a very good job at promoting the Labour Party and actually pushing up polling, I think there's been a little bit of movement with Labour in the last week because of their role and Jonathan Powell's role in the peace deal in Egypt. But could Jonathan Powell be the one who drags them back down the ratings, drags them back down the polls by being involved in this? And I think it's definitely one to look out for. So if you're looking out for anything, Jonathan Powell.
Well, thank you both for joining me. I know it's been a bit of a short one this week, but thanks for tuning in or watching or whatever you've been listening to us on. I've been Oliver Sykes. We've had Elliot Hartley and Noah Buckingham-Reed. Thank you both for joining me.
I've had a lovely time.
It's been good.
Take care. See you next time.